And welcome back once again, guys. Day two, little Traverse Bay Parafest right here in Petoskey, Michigan. And I found another good one, folks. Right sitting next to me is Mr. Chris Nielsen from Traveler's Moon. Welcome, Chris, to TPV Nation. It's good to see you, man. We met you up at Mid-Michigan
last year, yeah.
Yes. So it's good to see you back in the area doing what you're doing. So tell our folks a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, and more importantly, tell us some ghost stories.
Tell us a good ghost story. We'll start off with, it was very assumptive you assume this was a good one.
Nothing but the best for TPV Nation. Let me tell you, folks. He's a great guy.
Hi everybody. My name is Chris Nielsen. Been a paranormal investigator for about 15 years, actually about half of my life now. And, right now I'm part of a team called Traveler's Moon. It's me and my fiance, soon to be wife.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we, do a lot of the it's weird to say normal stuff. Like it's a little bit of an oxymoron.
Well, you know what? To us, the paranormal is normal.
Right.
Really. I mean, this is what we don't know any different. We eat, sleep, and breathe paranormal. Our lives are just that way. So to us, it's normal.
Right.
To everybody else who normal, whatever those people are doing, it's gonna be boring though.
Oh God, I can't imagine having a normal life. Jesus, like actually having to have like hobbies and stuff. Like we're in a good little circle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do that normal paranormal stuff. So put out like documentaries on YouTube. We actually live stream big chunks of our investigations as well. Just we feel like it adds like a nice level of transparency to the process. You can look at like a normal, paranormal documentary, and you're like, oh, it's bullshit. It's somebody tweets and editing. But when you see, intelligent responses on an ITC device in real time or a REM pod, just kind of going off. It's has a little validity. So that's we do the technology portion, but my fiance is a very gifted psychic medium. If you had to put a label on it, I'm a clairvoyant psychic, so prone to seeing things, and I know I'm not schizophrenic because I can turn it on and off, which is nice. I'm also a shamanic practitioner, so we take a very kind of eclectic approach to the paranormal because we feel like there's validity to our personal experiences and the actual spiritual aspect of paranormal research, but there's also validity to that technology. You kind of find where those two things meet. So we go out, we do the content creation. I had a book published this last year about a long investigation I did at a place called Edinburgh Manor in central Iowa. And then, we also host events where I actually bring people in, let them have, a lot of times people having like their first real paranormal experiences. We host intuitive retreats, help people kind of get in touch with that intuitive aspect of investigating as well. So we keep busy.
By the sounds of it, very, very busy. I mean, so if you can, and I mean, you've been doing this, like you said, half your life already. Like, tell us your most scariest or even most memorable experience, something that you'll never forget.
Yeah, so for me, it's interesting. We go out and we're like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? We're looking for that validation, but sometimes when it becomes real, when it becomes super tangible and things are actually like moving around you, it's just that extra, like, holy shit. Like, I'm going in, I'm hoping for this stuff, and this is the validation I'm looking for. But when it actually happens, it takes it like you get that like next level of fear.
Right.
So this was back in the day, gosh, probably like 2011, 2012-ish. I'm with a previous group I used to investigate with my dad and my brother. And we're doing a residential case. It's at a bar in kind of middle of nowhere, Illinois. And
everybody loves that part of the middle of nowhere, Illinois.
And normally it's a great place. It just switched hands in ownership. Normally I would be like plugging this place because it's very cool, but then switching ownership, but they're having all these sorts of weird claims, and for some reason the previous purpose for this bar was actually a schoolhouse. They converted a schoolhouse to a bar, which is
That's where I learned to start drinking.
Now you mention it, does make perfect sense, doesn't it? they're having these claims. They're like, oh, they're hearing like the footsteps go up and down the stairs, and whoever's in the, it's always a basement, right? Like it can't be anything other than a basement. It teeters on cliche at this point.
Yeah, if the basement's not haunted, your house is not haunted
Right.
whatsoever. It's got to start in the basement somewhere.
It's the basement or the attic, and if it's not happening there, you're full of shit. That's what I said.
So yeah, there's nothing that happens between those floors. Everything is just. That's just the passageway, folks.
Oh yeah, it's like the passage between like the basement and the attic, and that's where the activity and the rest of the house occurs. But whoever's in the basement is allegedly not the friendliest guy. He's killing lights on people while they're down there trying to work, pulling hair. And at the time, I actually had hair down to about here, so naturally we're like, oh, this guy's great bait. So long story short, I'm in the basement by myself with this not so friendly allegedly spirit, and my dad and my brother are actually 3 stories above in the attic. Because it's the other place that hauntings take place.
Another logical place.
So I'm down there, and I've got a digital recorder. I've got a camera, and I've got my video camera. And as I'm walking around, I notice on the video camera I'm filming with, the battery just goes like straight to dead.
Wow.
And a lot of times when you see something like that happen. A lot of times you're ready to anticipate something. They're pulling energy. They're ready to do something. And not a few seconds after that camera dies, I hear, and it was a cap to a jug of milk. And whizzed right by my ear. And I'm still a little green at the time, so I'm like, oh shit. So I'm gradually making my way closer to the stairs. I'm not ready to run yet, but somebody just got thrown in my head, right? That's not okay.
One more thing gets thrown, and I'm out of here.
So I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm really trying to snap pictures at this point because my camera's dead, and my camera's battery life starts going down.
Oh my god!
And I think it was an intelligent move at the time, it's the practical move, but for me then it wasn't great for my mental health because I'm like, you're pulling batteries, are you going to do something else? And from the bottom of the stairs, a bit further into the basement, you see this heating vent comes up out of the floor. It goes further into the basement, or it comes, unfortunately in this case, in my direction. And I hear this heavy banging on this heating vent. And I mean, it's June during this investigation. The heat's not on. There's no reason for expansion contraction. And the more I'm talking, is that you, or are you trying to, I'm trying to talk with them. This bang is working its way up and down in my direction. And that's when the panic starts setting in. So I'm fumbling for a walkie-talkie. And stuff's banging down here. I need help. My cameras are dead, and I don't know what to do. And leaving the basement hadn't crossed my mind for some reason.
No, because that's what they do in the movies. They run. But us brave souls that are paranormal investigators, we just sit there and go, okay, bring it on.
There's a fine line between brave and stupid, though.
You know what? And I can totally agree with you because I've had some investigations where I was like, yeah, that wasn't the most brilliant choice to make. But, in the end, I guess really that's, as investigators, that's kind of what we do, right? We kind of push the envelope a little bit just to see how brave we truly are with things we don't really see, because I mean, you with your gifts, you can still sense if you're truly afraid or if it's like you
put on.
Right. So,
not the story gets worse.
Okay, folks, there is more to the story. Let's go, Chris.
So on the walkie-talkie, I'm explaining my situation. I'm explaining my camera's dead. All my team really heard was, my camera's dead. I need a new camera. So within a couple minutes, I see my brother at the top of the stairs. I'm like, oh, thank God, back up. My brother, being the brave son that he was at the time, basically throws this very expensive camera down to me. It takes off because he can hear the panic in my voice. Yeah. A few minutes pass, and one of the claims they had was a CO2 tank exploded. So I'm back behind where the CO2 tanks are. And, I'm sure there's some explanation for it, but I decided to ask, is there anything you know about this? And from where I'm standing, I can see into the basement, and there's a dolly on a two-wheeled cart. Yeah. And looks like it's leaning, and it's very like suspicious to my eyes. And it's like, oh, it's low light, or my eyes playing tricks on me. And the instant I'm ready to ask, like, are you like moving that over there? It's like somebody took this thing by the handles and flicked it to the ground. And that was my first experience of what you would probably call like poltergeist type activity.
Right.
Um,
because those things are not light either.
no,
So you know that it took a lot of force. That would explain why your camera battery and your recorder battery all of a sudden just they were summing up to show you some very, very exactly what they could do.
Oh yeah.
So
And to make sure I wasn't able to like share that visually, there is a fantastic audio though of a loud bang and then a string of profanity that would make a sailor blush.
But that's awesome. That's like I said. That's so. Chris, tell us, where can they find you? Where can they watch all your stuff? And give us where are you going to be next? So if anybody wants to come up and introduce it, enjoy your great stories, because I know we're enjoying it. We're going to have to get him and his fiance back on for a full show, because man, I can only imagine the story she's got to tell if he's telling us these kind.
So you can find us anywhere online at Travelers Moon Para. And that's the Facebook. I've been trying to get better about Twitter. Twitter's tough for me. But like Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz. And then in person, if you're in the northern Michigan area, you can find us at Petoskey, Little Traverse Bay Parafest.
That's where we're going to be hanging out all day, folks. So where's your next event after this?
Next event after that, that's a good question. Weeks off. To be super unprofessional, I check the calendar.
Because you're a very busy guy, so obviously you need to know where you're going to be next.
I was trying to do the math on it because I'm just making conversation for it, and it came up like, we're on the weekend road like 30, 35 weekends a year.
Yeah.
We will actually be at Parapsychon.
With Mr. Dustin Perry once again.
Mr. Dustin Perry once again. That's going to be in the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. For you movie buffs out there, that's Shawshank, which is super cool. Or like Booth's going to be down in the cell block. So
favorite movie of all time.
Yes, I would like to.
But folks, there you go. Check out Traveler's Moon, Chris Nielsen, and his fiance, who is, I forget her name. Well, I met her last name, Kelly. Amazing people, folks. Check them out. Check them out on Facebook. In the meantime, in between time, folks, like we say here at TPV Nation, happy hauntings.
Happy hauntings.